Hey, Rad World! Today we're talking Mummy Impossible. What's that? It's not a crossover between Mission Impossible and the Mummy. It just a reboot with Tom Cruise. Oh, I guess I guess that makes sense. The Mummy stars Tom Cruise, Annabelle Wallis, Sophia Boutella, and Russell Crowe. This is the third time that Universal Studios has tried to kick off their dark universe, cinematic universe, the Dooku franchise, if you will. They tried it with I, Frankenstein and didn't go so well, and they tried it with Dracula Untold and that didn't work either, so they go all star power on this one. They got Russell Crowe, they've got Tom Cruise, they're doing The Mummy, which was a popular franchise in like the late 90s, early 2000s with Brendan Fraser. Like, people liked those movies, so they were like, let's go with the movies that people enjoy, with actors that people like, and which was kind of like a last attempt of a desperate man, and that's what this movie feels like. It just feels like a desperate attempt to kickstart a universe that is unnecessary and unoriginal. Tom Cruise plays Nick, who's like this military guy, but he's also a thief, and he comes off very much kind of like a dick. He's very unlikable, but he does give it like 110%. Tom Cruise is definitely invested in the role, and he does the role justice as far as like what I feel like the director was going for. Tom Cruise definitely gives that performance and does it well. But the character himself that he's playing isn't necessarily a likable character. And that goes the same with Annabelle Wallis and her character of Jenny. I feel like she's just not very likable, and she's very much the damsel in distress, constantly being saved by Tom Cruise throughout the entire film. And it's a little disappointing, and I feel like these characters could have just been written better and stronger on both their ends, so that way that they were likable and carried us through more of an adventure-type movie, and not so much this dark, gritty, kind of lighthearted adventure that they're trying to go for, which just doesn't seem to mesh well. Either go dark and gritty or take it a lighthearted adventure similar to that of the Mummy franchise with Brendan Fraser. Not that I'm a huge fan of that. They're kind of like guilty pleasure stuff, but I watched one recently and I just didn't feel like it held up as much as what I thought it might have. But those movies were never to be taken seriously, so this movie itself, going into it, I didn't take it too seriously. I mean, it's The Mummy. It very much felt to me like Universal Studios was trying to put all their eggs in one basket and launch this franchise. If this didn't work, then nothing would. And I don't know that it really worked. I don't know if I want to continue watching movies within this franchise. The movie tries to be a little bit of a lighthearted adventure by throwing in these quips and jokes to kind of break up how dark and gritty the overall tone of the movie is. But I feel like for the majority, those jokes fall flat, and I think it's due to comedic timing. It's like they're funny in concept, but they're not executed very well. Something else the movie does that drives me a little crazy is it constantly has to tell you the backstory of the Mummy. Like, it shows you what happens with it, and then they just keep flashing back to it to explain why she's doing what she's doing constantly throughout the film. Which, if you remember correctly, is exactly what the Mummy franchise did with Brendan Fraser. They did that same stuff too, and that bothered me. I just rewatched the first one not too long ago, and it does it, and it drove me nuts. It was one of the things that bothered me about the movie. It was part of the reason why I felt like it didn't hold up, because it constantly had to remind me why this character was doing what it was doing, and like I forgot in the past 10 minutes or something. So as you can tell, I didn't really enjoy this movie too much. I didn't hate it by any means. I wasn't like waiting for it to be over the whole time, like looking at my watch or anything. It is very much kind of a popcorn blockbuster, but it's just not executed very well, and it feels like it's trying to do too much with one movie. Like, if they would have just stuck to one tight story and just told that story instead of trying to do all these other things to open it up, and maybe made the characters just a little bit more likable, I think the movie could have been more of a success. The Mummy gets a measly 4 out of 10. I didn't hate the movie. I'm probably not going to watch it again. Don't waste your money on this one. If you're going to see it at all, just wait for like Netflix or catch it on VOD. If you're going to go out to the theaters this weekend, maybe try It Comes at Night. I haven't seen it yet. Hearing good buzz. It looks pretty interesting to me. Check that one out. I don't know. Or go see Wonder Woman again, because, that movie's great. I'll do a review for that too, I think. I should, I'll work on that. All right, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button down there. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we will catch you guys next week right here on Rad Movies. That would have been a more interesting movie. That would have been, it's like there's some mission, and it's impossible because they gotta kill a mummy that's come back to life. I guess all mummies come back to life. I don't know. I'm done with this review.